Hello and welcome to the Hub Online Network Movies. So this...
Movies. Oh, I like that, yeah.
This is our inaugural top 5 movie list. So a couple days ago, we came up with the idea to pick our top 5 each action adventure movies from the 1980s.
And I have to say, this is really hard for me because I'm not one of those favorites or top 5s people. I love it all. I'm very indecisive that way, but this is fun.
And we made sure that we don't have any doubling of movies.
Which we did to start. We were 3 on 3, right?
Yeah.
We picked three of the same ones.
And it's actually kind of interesting because when you think action adventure, it's lots of shooting and things blowing up, and the movies that we picked isn't necessarily all about that.
Mine are kind of a little bit fantasy action style. I think I have a little bit of a theme.
Well, to give an example, let's get into our number 5. So we're going from although top 5 is still our favorites, our least favorite to our most favorite.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your number 5?
Okay, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'll put that at my number 5. So is the 1981 American action adventure film by Steven Spielberg. That was my number 5.
And why is that your number 5? What do you like about Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Well, of course, the adventure, and then also, I'm a huge.
Is Harrison Ford so dreamy?
What? Okay, yeah, that's. When I was younger, so that was my 80s. I was born 1981. So these are all my movies that I grew up watching as a kid. So I guess there's some nostalgic time. This is the times when me and my brothers would all get together and watch all our movies together. I didn't really get to watch a lot of girl movies, so I grew up watching more action adventure kind of guy movies. And I would play games Rambo was one of the things I used to play. It's so weird. I never got to play with Barbies. I played Rambo.
If there was one part that you enjoyed the most, what would that be?
Sorry?
If there was one part that you enjoyed the most?
I guess the beginning. Is that where he's running in the beginning?
Oh, ran away from the boulder?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part that's really exciting. So, also, I think I like the idea. I'm kind of adventurous, but to have that kind of career where you're action and adventure all the time, I think is kind of inspiring to me.
Well, you know what they say, that Raiders of the Lost Ark belongs in a museum. Indiana Jones joke.
Put the laughter track on that for you.
My number 5 is John Carpenter's The Thing. This is so you've never seen this?
I don't know. So you have to tell me about it.
So John Carpenter did Halloween.
Okay.
Okay, and then he did, and in Halloween, one of the TV shows or one of the movies that they're watching in that movie is the original Thing from the 50s.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
What is The Thing?
So The Thing is a shape-shifting alien.
Okay.
So it's a bunch of people go up to this research facility up north, very isolated from anything, and when they get there, there's something wrong. Because there was a previous crew that should be there and they're not, and then it comes about that the dog shows up, and then next thing you know, they find out that the dog is a shape-shifting alien, and it can take over the look of anybody.
Okay.
And so then it comes down to who's the thing and who's not. There's lots of really awesome, gross special effects.
I was just going to ask, what are the special effects like?
They're practical, so no CGI, because this is before CGI was a thing, and it's really nasty, gooey, dripping guts and stuff. The Thing is awesome. And it even has not a twist ending, but an ending that is obscure. So I've been on a lot of movie sets, and a lot of people debate the ending of this movie on movie sets because it comes down to the last 2 guys being Kurt Russell. I can't remember what the other fellow's name is.
Oh, Kurt Russell's in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh. He wears a really big cowboy hat.
I am going to have to watch this movie.
And
do you have it?
I believe I do.
Okay.
It comes down to these last 2 guys, and they could both be the Thing, or they could both not be the Thing.
Oh.
Right? So, anyway, it's a very heavily debated ending for a movie.
I'm gonna
But check
watch
out The Thing.
The Thing. I wonder how old Kurt Russell is in this.
Well, Kurt Russell is now a very good Santa in the Christmas Chronicles, so he's aged very well.
Did you have a crush on Kurt Russell too?
If I had a crush,
A man crush?
a man crush, yeah, I would think Kurt Russell would be in my man crush
Yeah, I think so.
thing. But let's move on to number 4. What do you got?
I have the Goonies, and then again, if I could pick number 1, these would all be number 1s. But the Goonies is one of my favorite movies. Just a group of dorky misfits all together, finding an adventure. I love it. It's such a good movie. Just a feel-good movie too, and all the characters you just feel like connected to. So I guess it's again nostalgic for me, but I love that movie. And it's written by Steven Spielberg.
The fellow that directed that movie.
Richard Donner.
Oh, who am I thinking of? Chris Columbus is involved with this.
Just checking.
Anyway,
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Writing credits, screenplay.
So one of the fellows that wrote it, his name is Chris Columbus,
Yeah.
and he was directing a movie that I am in.
What?
Yeah. So I was in a movie several years ago called "I Love You, Beth Cooper,"
Yeah.
and I'm a background actor that got upgraded to being in a scene, and he was directing the scene.
Oh, well, that's
So
cool.
interesting tie-in to what we're doing.
Okay. Also, Sean Astin is one of my favorite actors too.
Really?
Anything he does, I just love.
He was
Rudy.
He was the best Samwise Gamgee I've ever seen.
My first movie that I ever saw him was in Rudy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I went and I watched that
Don't say that! Never say that! Goonies never say die!
movie. I was like a teenager, I guess. I watched that movie, and it was just one of like inspiring movies.
My sister still makes me do the truffle shuffle.
First you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it!
In the Goonies? Oh,
Yeah.
really?
And he lifts up his shirt.
We don't have to do that. Okay. Yeah, so that's my number 4. How about you?
My number 4 is Back to the Future.
Oh, good one.
Yes. So now all of these movies are pretty much movies when I was a kid I would rent from the video store, watch, rewind, watch again, rewind, watch again.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future is probably one of the top 10 movies that I've done that with.
Yeah.
It's one of those films I could recite word for word.
Yeah, yeah. Raiders of the Lost Ark. We had a lot of these movies, and so after school, it was like pop it in, have my snacks, and watch my movies. That was when I would repeat.
I like how, like even the sequels were okay. I like how this one particular.
Okay.
Great Scott!
Just okay?
Well, no, I mean nothing ever really beats the first one.
Yeah?
Other than something that I have later on my
all
list,
great.
I will say.
Okay.
But
you're right. Yeah, I guess now that I'm thinking of it, yeah.
Back to the Future was a very nice, well, just done story. It had that interesting cliffhanger.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
They didn't have to make a second one, but my favorite part would be Marty and his mom are in the car,
Yeah.
and she goes to kiss him, and then she's like, "Ugh, it's like kissing my brother."
This is all wrong. I don't know what it is. But when I kiss you, it's like I'm kissing my brother.
McFly. Those are my ones.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home? Hey, think McFly, think.
I am your density. I mean, your destiny.
Lorraine, my density has brought me to you.
What?
Oh, who is that actor too? What's his name?
That was.
He was on Charlie's Angels, the
Yep.
ones with.
He ended up suing Back to the Future.
Why?
Because they used a clip from this movie in the second one, and he's not in the second one. They have a different actor play his character. They didn't bring him back. And so he sued because they used that clip of him.
Well, good for him.
Right?
Be fair.
You know, what do you got for number 3?
Okay, so number 3. I'm going to say The Neverending Story.
Ooh.
So the troubled boy dives into a fantasy world through the pages of a mysterious book. I mean, all the characters. I think this was actually one of my first crushes. Who was that kid? The kid who plays
Atreyu?
Atreyu! Yes.
Poor Atreyu. He goes through hell, I tell you.
That was my first crush, I think. Yeah, when I was a kid.
My parents had a friend who would bootleg these types of movies. And so when I saw it the first time, I didn't see the first half. I only saw from when he was trying to get in between the 2 giant statues.
Yeah.
And that was it. That's all I knew of the Neverending Story, was that bit on.
Yeah.
So it was several years later until I found out that there was a first half of the movie.
Really?
And as I was telling you before this, that movie is filmed partially in Gastown.
Oh yes, that's what we said at the beginning with the bullies. When
Yeah,
he runs
and
hides.
Falcor coming in and chasing everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, so what would my favorite part be? I think when at the end when they're dying and he's like yelling at the book.
Oh yeah.
Please! Save us! All right! I'll do it! I'll save you! I will do what I say!
Yeah, that's my favorite part.
Every time I see that horse get sucked into the muck.
Attack! Fight against the sadness, Artex! Artex, please. You're letting the sadness of the swamps get to you.
I just feel bad for the horse.
Oh, the horse. Yeah, these movies make me want to cry now.
This is back when movies had, they were made for kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they were just like brutal. I loved it.
Love it. So that was my number 3.
My number 3 is Aliens. Not Alien, Aliens.
Oh, explain.
So this isn't saying that Aliens is a better movie.
Alien.
But, so they did the first one, which is very isolated. There was one alien stalking a bunch of people.
With Sigourney Weaver.
With Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
And in this one, they bring Sigourney Weaver back, but now it's not one alien, it's thousands. So it's about a commando crew that go out to this planet
Yeah.
and have to fight a bunch of aliens. So James Cameron didn't do the first one, but he came on to direct this one. And this one is praised as the better sequel. Just like T2 is a better sequel to Terminator. So anyway, yeah. And then the characters from this one, the guy that plays Kyle Reese in Terminator is in this movie as the only commando that makes it out alive.
Okay.
And the girl that played, there was a young girl in it, she never acted again.
Okay, yeah. Huh.
So she actually did a, what are those things, convention a couple years ago. After
Cult convention?
No, she went to a convention, like
Okay.
a sci-fi convention,
Okay.
and it was a big thing because she had never done one before, and now this is 30 years later.
Yeah.
And she's never acted in anything else, so they got her to come and do a panel. It was huge.
And
Anyway,
she what?
she came and did a panel at the convention.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, let's move on to our, what are we on? Number 2s.
Number 2. You know what? Oh, this is gonna be hard. Okay, I'm gonna go with.
We've changed our lists
I
like
know.
4 times today already.
Okay, Willow. Willow is my number 2. It will always be I think a fan favorite of mine, and I don't know. I think it's all the characters, the brownies, the part when they fall into the ale. I guess would be one of my favorite parts with them, and they're just cute. The little baby is so cute too.
Brownie's falling into the ale is like Dumbo.
That what?
Dumbo getting drunk?
Oh, okay.
No, never mind.
Anyways, that was my favorite part of the movie. And everything. Okay, so Val Kilmer.
Coming! If he catches you here, he'll kill us both!
How do I look?
Cover your face!
Not you! Where the hell did you come from?
Being action, funny, hilarious, perfect lead character, I think. The romance a part of it, and then Willow himself. Oh, everything. I love this movie. And now I want to watch all these movies tonight. I want to go home and just...
Was that a George Lucas movie?
It's directed by Ron Howard,
Oh.
and it's produced with the story by George Lucas.
Gotcha.
So, you mean, you clearly can't go wrong. And you can't go wrong with Val Kilmer being the lead hunk, right? Yeah? No? Okay.
What was the derogatory term that they used for Willow? Peck?
Stupid peck.
Don't call me a peck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Peck. Peck. Peck, 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 peck. You.
What?
They kept calling him Peck, and it's supposed to be.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Little
can't.
person?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But in it,
I'm sorry if that's offensive to anybody. I'm just trying to remember.
What? Now I'm trying to find the dwarves. The baby drifts downriver to the village of Newlyn dwarves and comes into the care of Willow Ufgood, the kind farmer and a conjurer with hopes of becoming a sorcerer. There you go.
Willow plays one of the Ewoks, one of the main Ewoks.
He does, yeah. He was in actually a lot of movies back in the 80s, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Madam Artigan! I'm really good at these.
Speaking of Ewoks, but not Ewoks, my number 2 movie is The Empire Strikes Back.
Oh.
This one is, in my opinion, far better than the first movie. And I like how it leaves the story on a cliffhanger. Everybody's just distraught. Luke loses his hand. Han's frozen in carbonite. C-3PO is still a mess. You really get to learn a little bit more about Boba Fett. The part where Vader's his father was not actually realized until he started writing this part of the movie.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
Oh. What was it originally?
He was just a bad guy.
Oh, okay. Well, a nice little twist.
And Star Wars is still sort of going strong today even.
It is. Are you still a Star Wars fan of the present day Star Wars?
I like the TV shows, the cartoon shows, and The Mandalorian that just
The new
came
one?
out
I still haven't watched
on
that.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Those shows are all really good. The movies, although I've seen them all in theater now, I could take or leave. I'll probably watch them all again at some point in my life, but it won't be tomorrow.
No. It's not that nostalgic connection that it is.
No, I've even, after watching the new movies, I've even gone back to watch these ones.
Yeah.
And these ones are just way better. You're more instantly connected with the characters. They're all part of a team, whereas I don't feel that that's such a big thing in the new movies. Even though they still have the 3 main leads, they're not, until this last movie, they're not really working together on a common goal. My favorite part of this movie is the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
The Rebel Alliance, even though they destroyed the Death Star, they're not out of it yet. They still got to retreat and run away. So anyway, it's a great movie.
Great movie. Can't go wrong. Can't not
Great
have.
movie.
Cannot not have Star Wars on a top 10 80s movie. Top 5 80s movie. Top 5 adventure.
So before we get to our for our number ones, we just have a few honorable mentions that we've had on our lists, but we've taken off and on and then off again, then on again, then off again.
Very indecisive here.
So Terminator being one of those.
Yeah. What I like about the movies that you've picked are they have really strong female leads, like in the 80s, and I think that was kind of rare for having an action action star like Sigourney Weaver and then Linda Hamilton, and I guess she wasn't really her kick butt kind of character in the first one that she becomes later on in the movie, but at that time there wasn't a lot of strong female leads. So for somebody like me watching all these kid movies where I grew up watching, my heroes would have been more of like, you know, my Rambo or so forth that I was saying. So I like that those have strong female leads.
Well, it just goes to show you can write movies with strong female leads and not have it suck.
Yes, there you go. It's true. Although we had this conversation, we don't like some of the remakes. Like, I'm not a fan of Ghostbusters being all the characters, but of course I know the older characters can't play, but I'm not a fan of the new Ghostbusters.
They're making a new one. So there's another new Ghostbusters coming out with the original cast.
Oh, good. High five. Good.
So, like, for some reason, everything has to be pushed as a...
Pushed with
like,
an agenda.
Yeah, and...
Like the core of the movies and the connection of what the original stories, and then you change it and you expect people to not get upset. Hello.
Anyway, there's lots of room for strong female
Yes,
leads.
there is.
But...
Terminator being one.
One movie that does not have a strong female lead, though, is Rambo First Blood. And that is another honorable mention.
Yeah.
That movie was actually filmed in Hope, just at the other end of the canyon.
Yeah.
And it's still Hope's major claim to fame. Although they got rid of the bridge
Oh, okay.
just recently.
Cool.
But yeah, so I've worked with a lot of people in the movies that have worked on that film.
Yeah.
A lot of older people.
Yeah.
And they're like, it was one of the coolest movies that they've ever done,
Yeah.
etc.
Wow.
So,
Sly.
well, there's a guy that had another nickname for him, but I can't remember what it was. But it wasn't Sly Stallone, it was something else.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people make fun of him for being the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
Because he did that adult movie.
He did? Was this before he wrote?
Before he did Rocky.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He needed the money.
Yeah.
And so he went and did a...
Yeah. I watched his aspiring story, but that was definitely not in his story.
But look at him now.
Yes, look at him now.
I have one more honorable mention that I've been sort of fighting with, and this one's called They Live. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Nope, haven't heard of it.
So this one is about, so the main character, not in the movie, but just in real life, he's a wrestler. His name's Roddy Piper. Mm-hmm. And he goes through the whole movie in his sort of wrestling, so he's wearing like a kilt and a leather jacket.
Yeah.
And it's about, so there's aliens around, but you can only see them if you wear these certain glasses.
Oh,
right?
that's
So
fun.
aliens are like taking over.
Yeah.
And so you might be an alien, but I can't tell unless I put these glasses on. So if you ever heard the line, I'm here to chew bubble gum.
No.
But I'm all out of bubble gum.
Never heard that one.
Well, that's from this movie.
Okay. I have to watch that. Do you have that?
I don't actually,
Okay,
but
we'll
we'll have to get it. So those are my honorable mentions before we get to our number ones. Did you have anything that...
Nope.
So what is your number one action adventure movie from the 80s?
Yeah. The Princess Bride. Yeah.
Why would you pick The Princess Bride?
What? Why wouldn't I pick The Princess Bride? It was probably, I don't know, probably because I got to watch it all the time and it was more of a girl rom-com movie, romantic type.
Well, there's fencing, fighting, true love.
Fencing, fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, miracles.
The giant. What was that? What was his name?
In the movie, it's Fezzik, and in real life, he's Andre the Giant.
I just don't think it's right killing an innocent girl.
Am I going mad? Or did the word think escape your lips?
Andre the Giant? Yeah.
Another wrestler.
Yes, you're right. Fred Savage is in it. I don't know. What do I love? Well, I was thinking of a line.
Mandy Patinkin?
What is the line? Well, it is the line that, what is his name? My name is
Inigo Montoya.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Oh, name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Stop saying that! Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die! No!
I want my father back, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yes, that's my favorite part.
So this movie was actually my number one as well, but I've switched it now because we didn't want to have doubles.
The same.
But yeah, that movie is just.
What can I say about it? I don't.
It's magical. If you
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
if you've never seen it, it's one of those movies that I don't know. Well, I used to work or volunteer at a music festival, and we would just every 5 seconds be quoting this movie. Even in my when I got married, we made our officiant do the whole marriage.
Really?
Marriage is what brings us together today.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage, that blessed arrangement.
I love it. The what is it called? So it's the synopsis. While home, sick in bed, a young boy's grandfather reads him the story of a farm boy turned pirate who encounters numerous obstacles and enemies and allies in his quest to be reunited with his one true love. Doesn't get better than that.
Have you ever read the book?
No, I didn't even know it was a book.
The book is brutal.
Okay. Who is I thinking of? Who is the guy? Who is the character who plays the silly guy? You know?
The,
you know what I'm saying?
Never get involved in a land war when death is on the line.
Oh, yes!
Never go in against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
What's that actor's name?
I don't know.
Billy Crystal.
Oh no, that Billy Crystal's.
Oh, are we thinking?
He's
He plays a few characters in that movie, doesn't he?
He plays one. He plays Miracle Max.
Get back, witch!
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. But after what you just said, I'm not even sure I want to be that anymore.
You never had it so good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the guy that he does the Battle of Wits with the wine and the iocane powder.
Okay. And all these names are cool too. Oh, Prince Humper.
Prince Humperdinck.
Did you say that name? You promised me that you would never say that name.
What? Humperdinck?
Ah!
Humperdinck! Humperdinck! Humperdinck!
Stiegen!
Humperdinck! Humperdinck!
I'm not
Humperdinck!
listening.
Yeah.
Creative.
The Princess Bride. Why is she called the Princess Bride?
Because she's
A bride?
going to be the bride and their princess.
Okay.
Because she's marrying Prince Humperdinck.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay, here we go.
Princess Buttercup.
The Princess Buttercup.
Oh, I think I should have. I should have watched these. Now I want to watch them all again. I should have watched them before this. So next time we do this, I'll make sure I watch all the movies first. An update, a refresher.
My number one is and this is my favorite movie of all time, is the 1986 animated Transformers movie.
Animated Transformers movie?
Yeah. So it's like an anime. So it's like the Japanese animation.
I don't know this.
It's
amazing.
amazing.
I mean, the show, the series?
So
I know it was a series.
There was a TV show,
There was a TV
Transformers,
show, yeah.
and then they needed to make new toys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what they did was they made a movie, and then the first 20 minutes of the movie, they kill all of the old cast from the TV show. Optimus Prime dies. Ironhide dies. Hound dies. Everyone that you grew up with, other than Bumblebee. Bumblebee makes it. But everyone else gets killed.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole new cast of people that they could sell toys with.
Well, I'm sure I watched this, of course, but I don't.
So this is about a planet that
I'll have to ask my
that
brothers.
floats through space and eats other planets. The
Yeah.
planet's called Unicron.
Yeah.
Voiced by Orson Welles. It's his last movie.
Oh, cool.
And in an interview, they said, "What do you think about Unicron?" He goes, "I'm just voicing a toy. I don't care."
Oh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy's in this. Eric Idle's in this, who is, do you know who Eric Idle is?
No, I
He's
don't.
from,
Leonard Nimoy,
like
I
all
do.
the Monty Python movies.
Oh, okay.
He's one of those guys.
Okay.
Anyway, it's great. It's a great adventure. It's all about space and battles and planets and
Kind of everything.
robots that are in disguise.
Yeah. Yeah, it has a little bit of an alien theme.
Well, I like space.
Well, yeah. And they have, apparently there is new footage, or what we were talking about, or is that you? I'm not sure. There's actual alien discoveries, that there are aliens out there, and they have proof of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's NASA, like all this big, NASA released all this documents, some like whistleblower about how aliens are real and be introduced to our planet soon.
I knew it.
There you go. All right.
So that's our top fives for this
you go.
week. Maybe next week we'll do this again. This is a trial.
Yeah, test it out. Maybe we'll do what is sci-fi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's your shtick.
Love it. Well, thank you all very much for watching. And stay tuned to the Hub Online Network, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Fuzzy, are there rocks ahead?
If they are, we all be dead.
No more rhymes now, I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
Yeah!